Through 10 games, Ocho Cinco has 11 catches for 201 yards. This is the same Ocho Cinco who was drafted in fantasy leagues in front of studs like Rob Gronkowski and Fred Jackson. Guess what, Ochi? I'm jumping on your bandwagon. Coming off a zero-catch performance against one of the NFL's worst defenses on Monday Night Football and only having 2 catches in the last 5 games, Ocho Cinco, you are my waiver claim of the week.
Oh, no, he didn't.
Comfortable. Young and comfortable.
Torrey Holt talked about when he was with the Patriots, the offense was very complex, and that even the Hall of Fame receiver was having problems learning it. With barely any offseason, it's hard for Ocho to get on the same page, and many predicted that this would happen. He has fallen from potential number 2 receiver to number 5 receiving option when he's on the field, after the names of Welker, Gronkowski, Hernandez, and even the fossil Deion Branch. Surprisingly, it's a good thing to be the number 3 receiver playing against the Eagles. Let's take a look at how Philadelphia's secondary has performed against number 3s this season. As you can see, in 5 of the 10 Eagle games this year, the number 3 receivers had good games for their standards. On this list, 4 of the 10 receivers led their team in receiving that game. Even Brandon Gibson reached the half-century mark. Now let's look at what Deion Branch has to go up with when he faces the Eagles. The Eagles are tough against number 2 receivers, and it would be hardly surprising to see Deion Branch's name fall somewhere in this list. He doesn't create separation and has become a strict possession receiver who runs mostly 7-yard comeback patterns. With one step further, you can see number 1 receivers also fail to produce in games against the Eagles. Fitzgerald is the exception, but I don't expect Welker to get 12 targets. Then again, would you really be surprised if he did? He could be in a tough game, though I wouldn't bench him. The reason why Ocho went so high is because of his big play potential. If Brady is going to reach 5,000 yards this season, Ocho is going to have something to do with it. He's one spot away on the depth chart, or one big play away from being in our fantasy hearts again. Take a look at what Brady did for Deion coming from Seattle. As you can see, he went from number 5 fantasy receiver on one of the worst teams in the NFL, he didn't even start one of his 4 games that season, to number 2 receiver on arguably the best passing offense in fantasy football, and number 2 fantasy wide receiver on our rosters. The time is now to add Ochi. He has a matchup, and he has a quarterback. If he would have scored Monday night versus Kansas City, everyone would no doubt consider the move, maybe even start him. Always remember, just like Twista and Kanye, Tom Brady can turn you into a fantasy superstar overnight.